finally quit my job. Honestly, it feels great. I don't think that I really want to go back to a regular job anymore now that I'm out of the corporate world or whatever. I do think I'm ready to start going just into being an entrepreneur and start doing what I wanted to do and not having a corporate job where I have to answer to anyone, which I never really liked it anyway. I think I've said this previously before. I don't think anybody really likes, or having a regular job. Or if you do, there's nothing wrong with that, with having a regular job. But just for me, I couldn't actually do it. I couldn't get up every day and do a regular job. It just wasn't in my DNA. I don't like that aspect of it. But one thing I did have to ask myself, or a few things I actually had to ask myself. So how do I plan on making money? Why did I quit? And then, of course, kind of what comes next, which I did kind of think about before I actually quit. But at the same time, I kind of didn't think about it because I don't have an official source of income as of right now. Even though I do have some money saved, I don't really have like an official source of income. So, don't really have a job at the moment. So the first thing I do want to answer though is why would I quit a quote unquote good job in the first place? And the simple answer to that is just that I didn't like the work that I was doing. I don't really like working for other people either. So like I said, I don't think a lot of people like working for other people, even though, they will say that they want to actually do their own job or have their own career or whatever it may be, and then they'll do a job just for a little while, a year or two. Next thing you know, they're stuck at that job for 10, 20, 30 years and they retire and then they never did what they wanted to do. So for me, I'm 27 now, I didn't want to be stuck in just a regular job and just not doing anything that I didn't want to do. So I went ahead and I quit. People may think I'm crazy for doing that, and people may look at me like what the hell is wrong with you if you don't have like a backup plan or whatever, or if you don't have a source of income, what are you doing? Thankfully, since I don't have any kids, I don't have a wife or anything to look after, and it's just me and my apartment alone, I don't really have to think. Thankfully, I can actually jump, the jump that people talk about. I have the luxury of doing what I want to do and not having to worry about anyone else but myself. And some people say, you have to do what you have to do to survive and make money, and sometimes you have to do jobs that you don't actually like in order to make money, which I agree with, but to a certain extent. Like for me, I've been doing jobs that I didn't like for, I was 16 when I first got my job at a pizza job. So 16 all the way to 27, that's 11 years. That was long enough for me to be like, yeah, no, this ain't actually working. So that's why I ended up quitting. And what I mean by that is that when I say to a certain extent, I know some people don't have the luxury of quitting their job and just doing what they want to do. Or maybe you do. Maybe you have a spouse that is able to, or a family member or whatever, that give you that luxury of you'll be able to do what you want to do and not have to worry about income for a little while. And if you could do that, I say, shit, do it. So the job I had, I was doing kind of a call center job from home, and it was paying $15 an hour, which is less than $30,000 a year. I was actually making less than $1,000 every 2 weeks. So it wasn't helping me any. It was 40 hours of my week that I could have been spent doing other things that I wanted to do, like making videos and doing whatever I wanted to do in terms of how to make money. It just really wasn't conducive to what I was trying to do with my life. And it was actually starting to become just draining my energy and having to deal with people I didn't really want to have to deal with. And it was really just not a good environment for me. I was depressed for a long time. I was staying in bed. I would call out sick. I think everybody's done it before, where you don't like a job, you don't really care about the job, so you just call out sick. You're not really sick, and they probably know you're not really sick, but they'll let you have the sick day or whatever, and then you come back, and then you still feel the same. So I really did think that I could just kind of do the call center job and just tough it out, be man up, as they say. I was actually gonna do it until I found a way out or whatever it may be, but I just couldn't do it. I really couldn't get up out of bed. Even though it was a work from home job, it was draining. It was super draining for me. I got real bad for me. I was just laying in bed and just not do anything all day and just watch videos on YouTube and maybe be on social media replying to stuff, and I just wasn't productive. I wasn't I wasn't inspired to get up every day like I am now. I wasn't really wanting to do anything. Started to get mad at people for no reason. Like I was, and the reason why I would get mad at them, I was frustrated with what I was doing in my life. My stress level was up, and it was just all around just bad for me. Like it really was bad. Me saying it is not really, putting it into perspective of what it was, but just know for me it was bad. Like I think I do have a pretty good tolerance when it comes to a lot of stuff, but I wasn't able to tolerate that. When I would tell my friends and my family, kind of really my family, but whenever I would tell them what I was doing for my job from home, they'd be like, "Oh, that's a good job. Insurance, you get benefits. I was making money, and I got to work from home." And to me, when they said it was a good job, I started to doubt myself. Like I really started to think that, okay, maybe it is a good job. Maybe I'm looking at this the wrong way, and maybe I'm tripping. Maybe I'm just not looking at the big picture here. But for me, the good job that people would say that I had, it was my own personal hell. It wasn't fun for me. It wasn't even tolerable for me. I want to be able to help other people in my own way. Plus, I don't like talking all day. I would talk all day, every day for 40 hours a week. And me, I'm an introvert, so I really like just staying to myself and just doing work that only I see as actually going somewhere. But for that job, wasn't what I was really wanting to do. So for me, the way I did kind of the math behind it is that, so 40 hours a week is what most people work at a regular job. Unless you do overtime, which is like 50, 60 hours a week. Some doctors, they do 50, 60 hours a week, but at least they're doing what they want to do. They're helping people. So I guess that kind of cancels that out. But anyways, 40 hours a week. So if you think about it, 40 hours a week, that is 2,080 hours in a year. That's more than a fourth of your year doing a job that you don't actually like. If you don't like your job. For me, I didn't like my job. So it's 2,080 hours of work that I didn't like to do. And when I put it in that perspective, a fourth of my life doing something I don't like to do, and then of course I gotta sleep 8 hours a day, sleep at least a third of your life. So why would I spend my waking hours doing something that I don't really want to do? Like it just made no sense to me. And for me, I just couldn't do it anymore, so I just went ahead and quit the job. I've been watching videos like Gary Vee and Will Smith and people that I look up to and that I idolize, kind of, per se. Not really idolize, I try not to idolize anyone, but people I look to for inspiration to actually do what I want to do in life. And I started seeing them talk about there's no plan B. Why would there be a plan B when your plan A you should be giving your all to plan A, and you should be working for your plan A, which I agree with, and I was actually scared to even quit my job, because then I was like, what the hell am I going to do? If, am I going to get evicted? Am I not going to make money? What am I doing here? And honestly, I'm scared to a certain extent when it comes to me not having a job anymore, or at least a steady source of income anymore. But for me, the way I looked at it is that I know a lot of people 99% of people, they just don't do what they want to do. They don't take a chance on themselves. A lot of people, they just work their regular job, have some free time on the weekends, and then they die, and then that's it. They never try to do what they really want to do in life. And for me, I just couldn't do it. I couldn't die knowing that I didn't actually try doing what I wanted to do in life. I've always been putting my dreams kind of to the side and telling myself I had to save this amount of money or have this amount of money in order to actually become self-reliant or free or whatever it may be in order to quit my job. And for a lot of people, they keep telling themselves, especially for myself, I could see myself keep telling myself this. And even when I was like 21, I would tell myself this, like, oh, when I get enough money, I'm going to definitely do what I want to do. And then it's been 6 years, like 6 years flew by like it's nothing. And I was still not doing what I wanted to do. I'll put everything on the back burner, and I probably would still be doing that stupid ass job. I didn't actually quit and just start doing what I wanted to do. It's kind of me taking my leap of faith. But I say all this to say, just, if you want inspiration to actually do something, if you can do it and not affect anyone else, I say definitely do it, and hopefully it'll work out for me. But definitely do it. Don't hold yourself back because you're afraid of whatever, of failure or whatever it may be. Because otherwise, if you're afraid and you never do it, then you'll just die knowing that you never did anything. You'll have regrets in your 60s, 70s, knowing that you never did it. I think too many of us walk around with those regrets, and I don't want to walk around with those regrets. I don't think anyone else should either. But with all that being said, it's just the beginning of the rest of my life. So, other than that, talk to y'all later.